What's going on, guys? Dropadooski here. Today we're going to talk about farming Zana missions for currency in the Conquerors Atlas for 3.9. Now, as you can see above, we are doing a Zana mission right now, and we have happened to get a Elder Guardian map as one of her missions. That is the whole idea of what we wanted to do with this scenario. So what you're doing is you're farming Zana on T16, right? So I have my 8 stones in. All of my maps are 14, 15, 16. I'm running nothing but 16s, and I have a pretty high likelihood of getting an Elder or a Shaper Guardian from Zana, right? Now, these fragments are a minimum of 30C, all the way up to like 45, 48, depending on the Shaper fragment that you get. Now, if you happen to also get a Guardian map drop, so you use a Guardian map with the Zana mission, you have the potential for double dipping, right? So you get a Guardian from the original standard map, and then you get a Guardian from the Zana map within the Zana Atlas mission. So that's 2 fragments. So we're talking in a good scenario, that's 90C from 2 drops in the map. It's super, super crazy. It's super, super good. So we did this for a couple hours on Friday. Let's go over the results, okay? I was running my Purifying Flames miner, which is pretty slow. It's not super fast. We ended up pulling in close to 1,200 chaos in roughly 20 maps, okay? Now, this is, in my opinion, super, super good, especially considering we didn't get any Exalt drops. The 2 biggest drops that we got were a Blighted Summit map and an Ancient Orb, right? The rest were, minor currencies, cards, fossils, and then the majority of the money came from these fragments, right? So when running these, they're super, super quick. They're super, super easy. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that you do have to fight a Shaper or an Elder Guardian at the end, right? So if you want to come in and blast these out on the fastest mapper possible, you may run into a scenario where you're having a little bit of issue because those bosses at the end are typically going to be tough. But I mean, 20 maps, 1,200C, and we didn't get any big currency drops from it. It was amazing, right? To me, it was amazing. I thought it was super, super fun to do as well. So let's talk about how you're going to go about this, right? Now, this is what I've started doing now that all my 32 stones are completed. My Atlas is all ready to go. I have Awakening level 8 on there, and we have made, a decent amount of Atlas progress, right? We're at 140 and 89 on the bonus. So we're getting a lot of maps in return. So I had a good pool of red maps to start. 58 Zana missions is what I had available when I started this, just because I was paying no attention to it whatsoever while I was running these maps. So what you're going to do is you go over to Zana, right? You get yourself a couple of T16 maps prepped. And like I said, if you want to double dip, you prioritize the Guardian maps, right? So if we had our Guardian map available, right? I have a Minotaur here. I would put in the Minotaur at Zana, and then anything else you want to do for additional quantity, right? I wasn't juicing these things as much as you possibly can. I was basically, for the most part, doing 4 chisels and an alk on the map, and then 3 sacrifice fragments, and that was it, okay? Specifically for the map machine. Now, what I was also doing was for the given area, I would come over here and throw on anything that gave me more monsters, right? So area contains additional monsters that convert when killed, right? I would do things like that. Occasionally, if I got a strong box, I'd just keep it, depending. But it was normally, I was prioritizing quantity or monsters only, right? Because I wanted as many chances at loot as possible. Now, that was it for me. I was not juicing these maps as heavily as I could. You could do Legion Scarabs every single run. You could, you can kind of, the sky is the limit with this, right? Another awesome aspect of running these is it's a perfect 2-man scenario, right? You have a super, super fast mapper, and then your buddy's running a super fast mapper, or you are, and then one of you has a boss killer, and you just blast through these things, keeping up. One person destroys the Guardian, the other person destroys the maps, and you split the rewards, right? If you can imagine, I did this 20 in a couple of hours. I think we ran from like 12:30 to 6, and I'm streaming, so I'm not hauling ass. We're talking on chat. If I was super focused, you could easily double this on a faster build in the same amount of time. I mean, it's a really, really good way to make currency. Especially if you're broke and you don't know where to begin. Use the master missions. They're super, super good. So once we talk to Zana, We throw our map in, we throw our frags, we pick what we want to do. You pop that map and you go, and that's it, right? And then you'll find Zana in the map, and she will. It was about 1 in 3, all right, give or take. Sometimes you'd get a little stretch where you didn't see him, then you'd get a couple back-to-backs. I got multiple back-to-backs where it was Guardian, you know, you're getting a fragment every single run. So it was super fun to do. Now, there's a couple of things to keep in mind here as well. If you don't have any Zanas available, or say for instance you don't have any red Zanas available, but you've gotten to the point where you want to do 16s, you can get it via prophecies. So you can go out and buy a bunch of Zana mission prophecies, or on the sextants, when you're rolling sextants on your maps, on the watchstones, there is an available modifier that Zana will be on the map. Right, so for the next 3 maps, Zana's going to be there, so it guarantees you at least 3. I know I saw that with the Awakened Sextants. I don't know if it's all tiers, but I know I had it on these. So if you have some of these laying around, I use these, but I was kind of playing around and using whatever at different points. So it was more of like an exploratory day. That's all there is to keep in mind. Another thing to note, though, is when you're running this master mission specifically, and I think this works for most of them, if you're going to use scarabs, like Legion Scarab is perfect, right? Legion Scarab is great. Harbingers, anything like that that's going to add quantity, you can't use Einhar or any of the other master mission ones, right? So because you're going into a Zana, you're only going to get one master mission. It's going to be Zana, right? So you can't use Einhar or any of those other ones. You can use Harbinger, you can use Legion. Those were the 2 that I would use, especially like if one dropped, I'd throw one in, you know, here and there throughout the day, because they're just so beneficial. So many monsters and so much loot from Legions. It's great. I think on the first map, which is funny because I wanted to try this out and see what I thought of the results. My first map was 130C because I got double fragments and I had a Legion. I just happened to get a Legion in the original map that we put in the map device, and I got a Legion inside the Zana. So I got a ton of splinters, a bunch of chaos. I think there was a diviners in there that dropped a card or 2. I mean, it was insane. It was, the first map you run this to see if it's going to work out, and I throw it in Currency Cop, and it's like, holy shit, 130C in one map. All day we're going to do this, dude. I got super excited. So it's a lot of fun to do. And I think all of you guys, if you have master missions sitting around, should do them. Thank you all so much for all of the support. We've had a lot of people stopping by since we did our last crafting video a few days ago. I know I took a long break due to IRL stuff, but we're back now. We're going to be doing videos. And so if you have any suggestions, throw them in the comments below. Jump in the Discord. Let me know on stream, any of that stuff. Because if you don't know, I do stream on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/DropAdooski. Come on by anytime, and I'll help you out with whatever I can. Thank you guys so much. Good luck out there, and we'll see you soon. Peace.